Welcome to the Latch-Key Dads podcast.
I'm Greg.
And I'm Tim.
We are Generation X dads raising Generation Z kids.
And our podcast is all about reliving all of the things that made our childhood awesome.
We talk about movies, television shows, malls, toys, Tim's favorite clowns, and of course, video games.
That's right. And we also talk about what it's like being a dad, from having teenage kids to home repair, and especially sports.
Heck yeah. This is a stress-free podcast, and taking a break from all your worries sure would mean a lot.
Greg, that's poetic. Did you just come up with that?
Just call me Woody.
What?
Hey, are we recording? Welcome to this episode of Latch-Key Dads. This is episode 67, and we are talking about March of 1984. Talking about current events, movies, TV shows, and music. All those cool things that happened in March of 84.
Sounds pretty fun to me.
You on board?
Yeah,
What
I
else?
think so.
You got anything else to do?
Actually, yeah, I'll let you handle this one by yourself. Let me know how it goes.
Uh-oh. I'm in trouble, folks.
No. I'll stick around. I'll join you.
Awesome.
But before we get into all that, why don't we just kind of check in, see what's going on?
Good idea.
Yeah. So what's going on?
Fantasy football season has come and swallowed everybody whole. I was in a survivor pool. Have you ever done a survivor pool?
Yeah, years ago.
Yeah. 1 week. I'm out.
What was your pick?
It was the stupid Cincinnati Bengals against the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
And it's just terrible, right?
But the league is kind of flipped, on its head. Like so many of the teams that you would have thought this year weren't going to be very good.
Yeah.
Actually doing pretty well, and the teams everyone was predicting to do well are 1-1 or 0-2, and
yeah.
I mean that's why they'll play all the games, and I'm sure it'll kind of right itself as the season goes on.
Eventually it'll even out. Yeah.
But it's tough in those survivor pools to know who to pick in the first few weeks because it's.
We did one with the family. My uncle, my father-in-law, me, and my kids. Through my uncle, it was like his thing, and out of the 5 of us, there's one person left.
Wow. And
they're only left because they're still in because they bought 2 chances.
Oh, okay.
And so they already lost one. It's like a bloodbath out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you put money on it?
Oh,
or?
Yeah. A lot of money. Because it's not ours. It's like through my uncle. So, yeah, it's a nice chunk of change if you win. Yeah.
Yeah, the one I was in, it started out of college. It was a bunch of guys I went to college with. And then it sort of died off for a bunch of years. And then like 10 years later, I get this email out of the blue to join this, survivor pool.
Nice.
And I didn't even know, outside the guy who organized it, I didn't even know if any of the guys that I went to college with were doing it. And I did for like 2 or 3 years. And the pool had gotten really substantial.
Yeah.
But after 3 years of losing, the buy-in was getting higher every year or two because they were trying to make it like a really huge prize, which is kind of fun. But at the same time, if you're never winning, it's not great.
Not so much fun, is it? So you didn't do it this year?
No, it's probably been, it could be 10 or more years since I've done it.
Oh, okay. I had this brilliant idea that instead of a survivor pool where you pick the winner, it's a survivor pool where you pick the loser. And it would be just as hard.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
But just a different twist. And so, I'll start it up next year. Are you in?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. We'll keep it low, like a $5 buy-in. Nice and cheap.
Sounds good.
All right.
Sounds good. And if all of our listeners want to join in,
that's
just
it.
let us know. Send us an email at dads@latchkeydads.
How about you? Anything going on?
It's kind of, we're getting to this point in the year where like you get the cold mornings. And then by the afternoon, the kids are coming home from school and they're complaining because they're wearing sweatpants and they're dying because it's 80 degrees again. But I'm kind of enjoying it. I mean, the weather is kind of gorgeous right now.
It really is.
We haven't had much rain. It's just been really nice. So, but I'm not ready for any pumpkin spice or anything. Just keep that away from me right now. I just want to enjoy the end of summer.
Baseball's still happening, folks. Don't rush it.
Yeah, definitely.
Even though I was in Lowe's. Like last weekend, and then the Halloween stuff is just like everywhere. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. I was at the Home Depot, and that Home Depot is the store that sells the gigantic skeletons that you see everywhere. They actually had them in stock. I was this close to
Are you
buying one
serious?
because if you buy it at the store, they're $299. But if you try to get one during like the Halloween season, they don't have them, and people are selling them on Facebook for like $1,000.
Oh, I see what you're thinking.
For like half a second, I was like, "Do I want to be that guy who buys one and then extorts somebody in October?" And I decided I was not that guy. I wasn't going to do it.
You're a nice guy.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, they've like amped it up where there's so many, like, they're all animatronic. They're all moving around or doing something.
Yes.
And not cheap. Like every one of them is $200 to $400. It's crazy.
And just like you said, they're massive.
Yeah. And it's funny too, because a bunch of years ago, it seemed like everything was inflatable. You know, it was just like a blow up something.
Yeah.
And now everything is as elaborate as it can be. Looks like it's all, 3D printed, and it's pretty amazing.
Just means it's more parts to break.
Exactly. Yeah, and they do. My sister has one of the giant ones, and I think it got blown over in a storm or something, and then she had to buy parts. And I think there's people on Etsy that 3D print parts to replace the pieces that you can't get from the original manufacturer. So
talk about a niche market.
Yeah, get your little side hustle going.
What does it cost to print it? Like 5 cents?
I don't know. Yeah, it's insane.
Nice. We are again in Studio C.
Yeah,
it's very chill here. Yeah, I like it.
So chill that our mascot Gabe is 100% asleep. He's not running around, not doing anything. Yeah. So you want to jump right into it?
Let's do it.
March of 1984.
It's not as exciting as I thought it was going to be. But we'll leave that, let the listeners decide how exciting it is.
That's right.
Now what? We were 9 and 8 respectively.
Actually, no. I guess we would have both. My birthday's in January, so we both would have been the same age.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The way it happens so often. So what was going on in March of 1984? Anything there off the thing that seems interesting?
Well, if we jump into the current events, there was some tennis news. Martina Navratilova.
I remember that 3 times fast.
Yeah, I think I might have skipped a syllable or two in there, but I'm just going to pretend like I didn't. I do remember as a young kid, there weren't that many options on television, and so watching tennis on a Sunday afternoon was pretty regular occurrence. And I remember watching Martina. I remember like Boris Becker and a bunch of the others. Agassi.
Yeah.
And I actually think I
Pete
enjoyed
Sampras,
sure. And I really enjoyed watching tennis, I think, and rooting, having like a rooting interest. And anyway, so on March 4th, she retained her WTA Tour Championship in New York City and beat Chris Evert 6-3, 7-5, 6-1 for her 5th overall championship title.
Nice. And I'm not that familiar with female, tennis, but I'm pretty sure Martina's like one of the all-time best.
Yeah, she was really good. Yeah. And I mean, Chris Evert was quite good too. Quite good as well. Yeah.
On March 9th, John Lennon released a single by the title Borrowed Time. And of course, this would be posthumously because he had passed away several years before then. But I didn't know that.
I don't remember that. Yeah. On March 15th, Tanzania adopts constitution.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. Interesting.
I just wanted to hear you say Tanzania correctly. Because I, in my own mind, was reading it as Tanzania. So I'm glad you did it correctly, because I would not have.
Hooked on phonics. Hooked on phonics does work.
Remember that? Hooked on phonics. Hooked on phonics worked for me.
We'll have to do an episode on that.
March 19th, 2-time Cy Young Award winner Denny McLain, this I thought I'd never heard this either, is indicted on charges of drug trafficking, embezzlement, and racketeering. 25 years later, a 25-year sentence was later quashed. So I don't know what happened there, but
that's crazy.
Every once in a while, you do hear about like athletes getting involved in drugs and there was an NFL guy who was, 20 years ago, I'm never going to remember his name, who was doing marijuana, like he was buying pounds and pounds of it, and they caught him. Yeah. I'm like, you're filthy rich. Yeah. What are you doing?
But even when you think of like OJ and, I mean, like local Philadelphia team, Lenny Dykstra has sort of like gotten into all kinds of crazy stuff.
Didn't Marvin Harrison get into some stuff recently? A couple years ago?
No, I haven't heard that, but
I think he did. Yeah. Because he's a Philly guy.
Oh, really? I didn't know he was from around
there.
Yeah. His son's in the league now, right?
Right.
Marvin Harrison Jr. had a big week this past week. Yeah.
He did.
Coming back to the 21st of March, the NFL owners passed the infamous anti-celebrating rule. All right.
So where do you stand on the anti-celebration? Are you anti-celebration or are you pro-celebration?
This is going to sound a bit like, right in the middle of the rule here, but I feel like there's a time and a place. You know what I mean? Like touchdown celebrations, sure, go for it. But if you made a tackle and your team is losing by 21 points and you want to make a big deal about it then, just be a professional. Just get up, go on to the next play. But like the way that they've made like taunting a thing where like if you like spike it in a guy's face or like get in his face and all, I can kind of see that. Yeah.
What about the bat flips in baseball? I
feel like it's almost like a by player. Some players I'm okay with it.
Depends on how if they annoy you or not.
If they're an annoying player by their nature, I'm like, just run it out.
That's so funny.
I don't know. I guess it is. Yeah, I'm more like not by team. Like I wouldn't say like if it's my team, sure, but everyone else, no.
Yeah.
Like there are players on other teams that I'd be like, yeah, go for it, because they're professional, they're really good, they're in general they carry themselves a certain way. Yeah. But if they're just an annoying like player / person all the time, I'd be like, nah, just knock it off. How about you?
I know there's an entertainment value to sports, and they definitely are pushing that now more than ever. The bat flip is so annoying. I think it's rude. I think you're showing somebody up. I think it's over the top. Hit your base, you hit your home run, run around the things and whatever. Not that you can't high five and all that, but no, I don't like that. The touchdown celebrations I'm okay with because it's kind of funny. Yeah. But like, nothing's better than Barry Sanders rushing in a touchdown, juking out 5 guys along the way, and then he just hands the football to the ref. Yeah. That's cool. So kind of like you, I'm on the fence, but kind of like not acting like it's your first time there is pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting, the baseball one, the way that you framed that, it does make me think about how the game has changed so much, where in the past, if somebody did something like that on the offensive side of the game, the pitcher had the ability to retaliate. They'd plunk somebody if they were obnoxious or they were crowding the plate or whatever. And now it's like the minute anyone gets hit, it's like it's like a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, if someone retaliates, then they're going to get thrown out. Like some of the like, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's for the safety of the players and all that, but some of what made baseball, even the kicking of the dirt and the whole thing of the managers getting thrown out and stuff, like it's just all so controlled now, you know, or selectively controlled. Yeah. They let certain things happen, but other things don't.
And I mean, what's better than a guy hitting a guy because he hit a home run and showed up your pitcher, or if you retaliate, hit a guy because their pitcher hit your guy? Like, it's just part of like the game, in my opinion. So
Well, and on the flip side of that too, like if it was eye for an eye sort of thing, there's like that understood like okay.
Yeah.
Recently there was a play where a guy just was upset because of the fact he was getting lit up and hit one of the batters.
Oh.
And it wasn't like he was on the plate, like he was back far. He really threw at him.
Yeah.
And then that would have been a situation where they probably would have threw a punch. Like it would have been like a brawl.
Yeah.
But now you're at this point in the season, like it's an automatic punch gets thrown. You're getting ejected and potentially suspended for a couple games. So it's not going to happen anymore. Back in the day, like, you
have to face the consequences for being a jerk.
Yeah.
And you can kind of get away with being a jerk nowadays.
Yeah.
I don't like it. All right, let's keep going. One more tangent. I know we're not even close to this, but what are you about like the total almost elimination of fighting in hockey?
See, for me, that was like when I was a kid, like that was when I watched a lot of hockey.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, again, it's, if you take away the somebody getting hurt like severely,
right? Like
that is never want to see that. But if it's just like a little scuffle, everyone's fine. There's entertainment value in it that that's what I grew up on. And so now that it's gotten sort of sanitized and more polite almost, it feels weird, And,
and like I don't recall, and I mean I'm sure like the percentage of players getting hurt during a fight, I mean those players are tough as nails. They're not gonna.
Well, even as kids, like we played street hockey and like, I mean, it was all sort of like tongue in cheek. We weren't like literally trying to hurt each other, but we'd keep our gloves on and we'd hit each other with the gloves and stuff, just kind of because it's fun. You know? I don't know. Yeah. But not unlike the idea of like going to the YMCA and throwing on, the headgear and some gloves and just getting in there and like beating each other up. And, I don't know. I guess it's just like testosterone kind of thing. You got to just get out once in a while and
get
let some steam off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, where are we?
I don't know.
Are we in April, May of 2019?
2019? What? Oh. I don't know. I'll just do this next one. March 21st, part of Central Park, New York City, is named Strawberry Fields, honoring John Lennon. Huh. And have you ever been there to Strawberry?
I've been to Central Park. I don't think I've been to Strawberry Fields.
Oh, no? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just a small little area. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, cool.
There's always some weird hippies, like, laying out flowers and panhandling,
Yeah, that's interesting. Oh, that's 2 for John Lennon for March of 84. Mm-hmm. Also on the 21st, a Soviet sub crashes into the USS aircraft carrier Kitty Hawk off Japan.
I had never heard of that before.
Yeah.
I would have thought that would have created such an international incident that we would have heard of that. But
although in 84, like so much of what we got was like the opposite of now, where like sports are being sanitized. The news back then, I think, was so much more sanitized, and like you would only get what they decided you wanted to get. Now it's like Pandora's box. We get all and a lot more than we don't want.
I think that's true. Yeah. March 23rd, men's figure skating championship in Ottawa. I know you were a big time men's figure skating champion fan, Tim, and it was won by Scott Hamilton.
Well, again, for what it's worth, because there wasn't a lot on TV.
3 channels.
I did watch a lot of tennis, and I also remember watching some figure skating.
Did you?
And I remember Scott Hamill.
Yeah.
I do remember that he was, and I think even up until recently, he was very much like part of the booth. Like during the Olympics, he'd be commentating, and he was extremely talented. And I don't remember if he was one of the first to do a backflip or not, but I remember that was a big deal when they started. It was only like in the exhibition. They wouldn't do it in the actual
for fear of falling and messing up.
But like in their after the event's over and they get a little free skate, I think it was him or someone around the same time that did the backflip, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's amazing!"
I was just kidding. I did watch figure skating as a kid growing up because it was on.
It was on, yeah. Well, I mean, again, we love tangents, but. My wife and I were talking about how when we were kids and, you'd be homesick, you would watch TV and it was, Price is Right, maybe Romper Room, maybe some afternoon like soaps or something.
Yeah.
And
Family Court or whatever that was. Divorce Court.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of just random stuff that was on, but you'd watch it because that's what was on TV.
Yeah.
So,
Hogan's Heroes?
Yeah. Yeah.
I loved Hogan's Heroes.
Yeah. The 29th, the NFL Baltimore Colts move to Indianapolis.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. On March 30th, the world's most this is cool. I forgot about this. The world's most valuable tip. New York police detective Robert Cunningham offers waitress Phyllis Penzo half of $1 lottery ticket. Next day, they win $6 million.
Huh. I didn't know that was. I think there was a movie about that.
Yeah, with Nicolas Cage. I don't know the name.
I didn't know that was. I didn't know that was based off of real events. That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
All right. What would you do
with $3 million?
No. If you said a waitress, I don't have cash on me. Tell you what, I'll split this lottery ticket with you.
Yeah.
And then you win. What do you do?
I mean.
You're a good guy.
I would make good on it. I think I would probably have to, if I was in my current situation, whereas I'm married, I would definitely have to have a conversation with my wife about the fact that I gave a waitress half a lottery ticket that won. But yeah, I think I would stand by my offer.
Yeah. So, I think I would too.
Yeah. Well, and at the end of the day, I mean, obviously this is rationalization at its best, but if you didn't win, you didn't win. So winning any amount of millions. Pretty darn good.
It is, yeah. Especially, $3 million in 1984. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. Could have bought a lot of Microsoft stock back then.
That's right. I thought you were going to say Micro Machines. Okay.
That's funny. So, maybe move on to movies in
Sure.
March.
Talk about the movies. There are actually a number of good ones.
The first one was a movie that I do remember seeing. I think I saw it in the theater. It was a movie, Splash, which had Tom Hanks, Daryl Hannah, John Candy, Eugene Levy.
Yep. Yeah.
I didn't remember Eugene being in it, honestly, but
he was like the security guard, I think, or something like that. Yeah.
But Daryl Hannah was definitely, as a young man, she definitely left an impression. And for those of you who don't know the movie or have not seen it, it was very much a kind of fun movie as a kid. The idea of a mermaid, being in a reality, and it was entertaining. It definitely caught my attention as a kid. So,
and definitely one that was easy on the eyes.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I remember it. It was fun.
Yeah. Now, apparently, there's a remake with Channing Tatum and Jillian Bell.
That's what I did read. They're coming out with it. They're in the process of making it. But the big deal is they're doing a gender switch where I guess it's a merman, and he's the fish.
Okay. I mean, Channing probably can pull that off because he's done some interesting roles. But yeah, me personally, I'd rather see it stick with the original configuration, but whatever.
Yeah, I know. If I have to see another movie with a shirtless Channing Tatum, I mean, wasn't he Duke's favorite guy?
Yeah, G.I. Joe. Any other movies of?
The next one. I've never seen this one, and it's Stephen King. One of my favorite authors, Children of the Corn.
Yeah.
But what I did not realize about Children of the Corn was that one of our favorite actors, Courtney Gaines, is in it. Yeah. I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
I remember when it came out, and probably again because of the fact that I grew up in the country, cornfields all around everywhere that I lived. I was like, I don't need that in my head as a young, as a little kid. That's going to make me not be able to go outside in the dark ever again. For fear that I would become one of the children of the corn.
If E.T. didn't do it to you, this was going to do it to you, right?
Exactly. The next one, this is a movie that I think we probably both saw multiple times.
I'm sure.
It starred, just by saying this actor's name, our audience will probably know because he's synonymous with these movies, and that is Steve Guttenberg from the movie Police Academy, which also included Kim Cattrall, who would later be in Sex and the City.
Yes.
And I probably said I always say the name wrong. Is it Sex and the City? Is that what it is?
No. I think
Sex in the City?
I think it's Sex in the City.
Okay. I never say it right.
I don't know.
So.
Yeah, now I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll report card it if we feel like it.
And we probably said it right one of the times we said it. Just which one was right, we'll never know. Wait, we have the internet. We can definitely find out.
That's true.
Also had G.W. Bailey, Bubba Smith, and Michael Winslow, who, again, if you don't know Michael Winslow, his ability to create sound effects with his face and mouth and everything, it's unparalleled. It's unbelievable.
Crazy good.
Yeah. Really kind of made the movies, if you ask me.
Yeah. Maybe we should do a movie review.
Yeah, I think we should.
Do that?
Definitely.
All right, cool. All right, also that month was Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan, Lord of the Apes, which might go down as one of the longest titles of a movie ever made. It starred Christopher Lambert and Andy McDowell. And this movie, I remember this movie because I went to a twins, their birthday party, and the movie the mom picked for us to watch was Greystoke.
Okay.
And we're a bunch of 11-year-old boys, no interest in this stupid movie. We're like, what?
That's funny.
And so we bailed after, so I've never seen, after about 10 minutes, we just started, playing games and screwing around.
That's funny. I don't think I ever saw it.
Yeah.
The next one, I think, didn't we do a review of this, or we were going to do a review?
We were going to do, I think.
Another Robert Zemeckis movie. It starred Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner and Danny DeVito. And if you haven't guessed yet, it was Romancing the Stone.
Great movie.
Yeah.
We'll have to do it. We should get to that because that is a fantastic movie.
Yeah. Very, very fun. Sort of, the adventure vibe is great in it. The interaction between Danny DeVito and Michael Douglas is pretty awesome.
Yes. Yeah. There's a movie out. Oh my gosh. And I'm not going to, and it's going to bother me. It came out about a year ago and it was the guy in the jungle. I think it's Sandra Bullock actually. And is it The Rock?
It's actually Channing Tatum.
It is.
Yeah.
And he was probably shirtless in that movie. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think it's called Lost City.
Yes, that was it. She was a writer. That to me felt like another iteration of Romancing the Stone.
And I found it pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
I think Harry Potter was the bad guy.
Yes. Daniel Radcliffe. That's right.
But yeah, it was kind of fun. Just that, so it had like the vibe of one of the movies from the 80s. Like it was just fun.
Yes.
Really lighthearted. Like even the evil, bad guy was very
silly,
kind of comical.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was a good movie. Yeah. This movie I'd never seen, but it made a ton of movie Against All Odds with Rachel Ward, Jeff Bridges, and James Woods. But I think that's an adult movie that we probably had no interest in.
Yeah, didn't see it. Next one was Repo Man with Emilio Estevez and Harry Dean Stanton. I'm pretty sure I saw it. I remember seeing almost every Emilio Estevez movie. I don't remember a ton of the details about it.
No, me neither. Yeah. But it was fun, like a fun. I don't know. We rented it and laughed and never saw it again.
Yeah.
This is one. Gosh, if we had our '80s card revoked, I might be done. But I've never seen this, and this movie is pretty famous. They just came out with a remake. This is Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
I think it was directed and starred Rob Reiner, and also had Michael McKean and Christopher Guest.
I feel like it's one of those movies that falls into that category of it was on a lot on the Sunday afternoon random movie, or like we'd get a free HBO weekend or something. And so I've seen it. I know I've seen it all the way through once, and then I've seen like bits and pieces of it like repeatedly over and over the years. Having the amp that goes to 11 is probably the part from the movie that most people know, even if you've never seen the movie. You got to have it go to 11. So.
Yeah.
Next movie was a movie called The Ice Pirates with Robert Ulrich, Mary Crosby, and Michael D. Roberts.
Ever see it?
I did not. No.
All right, 2 words, and we'll have to do a movie review another time because I got to see this movie again. This is one of those movies you see as a kid and you think is hysterical, and I just wonder if it holds up. It's like impossible to find. I can't find it. 2 words: space herpes. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. Not touching that one with a 10-foot pole. Moving on.
Tank with James Gardner and C. Thomas Howell. And the only reason I know this movie was because it was on HBO. And you know how HBO used to just constantly repeat their movies?
Yeah.
I saw Predator, I'm not kidding, probably over 300 times because that summer it just happened to be on high repeat, and this was one of those movies where it was on repeat, and it was just about this kid, and he's in his dad's tank, and he's trying to get out of one state and go to another state. Like it was a fun movie from what I remember, but I don't remember too much.
Yeah. We mustn't have had HBO that summer.
That summer, I didn't see it. You're not missing that much.
Yeah. I feel like when I just graduated from college, I had my first job, and we had HBO, I think, at the house that I had. And The Replacements, I feel like me and my roommate watched The Replacements.
Oh, I've never seen that.
At least 2 times a week. It's about football, and it's a bunch of players who come.
Keanu Reeves?
Yeah.
I did see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is that? It smells good. Wild Yam. It's like a muscle relaxer. It smelled like Wild Yam. Anyway,
you know that movie well.
We saw it a lot. It's a great movie.
And I don't think I don't want to but that. I don't know if that happens to this generation. We talk, on our podcast, difference in generations. We were stuck with what we were watching. We were watching men's figure skating and whatever. What did we watch on HBO? Whatever they were showing. And if it had to be Predator for the 8th time that week, that's what we watched. Yeah. A little different now. These kids, they see one movie, and I don't know if they ever go back.
I don't know. I think it is selective. Like there are certain things that they really will, for whatever reason, the moment in their life with what they were experiencing, and there's some comfort with it.
Yeah.
I know there are still some movies, like for both my kids, that they're movies from when they were younger.
Yeah.
But if it's on, or they are having a bad week or something, they'll sometimes go back and queue up a movie in our Amazon, queue
nice. Yeah.
from 8 years ago, it's like an animated movie or something, and they'll watch it, and there's still that joy, associated with watching it multiple times. So I don't think that's completely lost, but I also think that the catalog of options, when you have the option of watching something you've seen before or some new thing, it's kind of hard to pass up the new thing when it's there.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
All right. Up next, we have television shows, and we've talked about probably some of these at some point because when we do these, we include TV, but we could just go through it quickly.
Sure.
Anything there that. So on Monday nights, so what we're doing here is we just picked a random week in March, and we got all the shows that were showing that particular night. So for Monday night, we have, I never heard of this one, Automan.
It sounds familiar.
It doesn't even ring a bell.
I feel like I need to look it up though and see what it was, but I kind of have a vague memory.
Yeah. Okay.
It's so deep down in the recesses, I can't even pull out much of anything.
Ginkgo biloba.
Yeah, exactly.
Scarecrow and Mrs. King. I used to watch that with my mom. I have really nice memories.
Yeah.
My mom liked that show, so we watched it. After MASH, Newhart, and TV. I forgot about this. TV blooper and practical jokes. Mm-hmm. Was it Dick Clark who used to host it?
I think you're right. That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. It's entertaining.
When you're 9 years old too. I mean, that's funny stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Tuesday nights we had foul ups, bleeps, and blunders.
Total ripoff, I guess. I
guess
never heard of it.
Yeah, I don't remember it either. But it was up against Three's Company and the A-Team. So I'm pretty sure whatever channel the bleeps and blunders was on, I wasn't watching because the A-Team and Three's Company were definitely better. So good.
Come on, knock on our door. On Wednesday night, we had one of our all-time favorites, Fall Guy.
Yeah.
Dynasty, One Day at a Time, the Dean Martin Celebrity Roast.
Okay.
Night Court. I love Night Court.
Night Court was really good.
The Facts of Life and St. Elsewhere.
It's a good lineup.
Not bad.
Very good.
Yeah.
Thursdays, Magnum P.I.
Nice.
So good.
I can hear that theme music. He's driving around Hawaii in that red car.
Yeah.
The brown helicopter with the yellow stripe and orange stripe come up.
Yeah. Higgins.
Yeah.
Give Me a Break was also on Thursday night.
Sure.
Family Ties, Cheers, and Hill Street Blues. So.
Wow. I mean, so good compared to today.
Yeah.
Friday we had Benson. I remember Benson. I liked Webster.
Yeah.
Blue Thunder was like the copy helicopter. That was like the copycat show of, what was the other one? Airwolf. Yeah. Dallas and Falcon Crest.
And then Saturday we had TJ Hooker, The Love Boat, Fantasy Island, Different Strokes, Silver Spoons, and Mama's Family.
Wow.
Pretty solid.
That's pretty good. And then finally on Sunday we have Ripley's Believe It or Not, Hardcastle and McCormick, 60 Minutes, The Jeffersons, Alice, and Knight Rider.
That was a terrible impression of the kid. I couldn't really.
I wish I could remember things because doesn't he talk? There's like a voiceover in the dead of night when right. There's some kind of
it's like a lone man walks
into a bar. Come on, it's waiting there, Tim.
So a pirate walks into a bar with a steering wheel in his lap. The bartender says, "What's up with that?" Arr, it's driving me nuts. That's a joke from 1984.
There you go. We should have more dad jokes in our
I think that's actually what we're missing.
That's it. And now we get to some music of March of 1984, and this is pretty fantastic.
Yeah, I feel like this is kind of like the soundtrack to the 80s. A lot of these are...
It's pretty good. And before we talk about it, I will note that we have a playlist. So if you go to Spotify, we have playlists for each of our episodes, particularly, not for all of our episodes, but for the ones especially that we talk about a month, and we put all the popular songs from albums in the top 10 into that playlist. So if you're looking for something to listen to, it's kind of fun. It kind of takes you back to the times when you're like, I know this.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you can't find them on Spotify, just go to our website. We'll put a link on there for each episode that we have one. You can link right to it.
Cool beans.
From latchkeydads.com.
Nice. Take me there. I want to go. So our first album, Black Flag, with the album My War.
Solid.
I guess. A little ahead of my time there. I don't really know that one.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
You a big Black Flag fan?
Not in 84.
Not in 84.
Being completely honest, yeah, I was a little young for Black Flag, probably. The Run DMC, their self-titled album came out. I feel like back then, my first knowledge of them was when they played with Aerosmith.
Yes.
So, yeah, their first album, I don't know that I was completely aware of what they were doing.
Yeah. I had a friend who liked rap. So even before they did the Aerosmith Connect, he was all about it. So I kind of knew of them and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah. The Cars with Heartbeat City.
Yeah, I feel like the Cars, we heard them a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if that was the album that
It's got
I know
a lot,
the best.
yeah, it's got a lot of hits on it. Yeah.
Rat, Out of the Cellar. I remember that, you know, that kind of rock was pretty prevalent. And I remember, you know, Rat was getting played a lot.
Hair metal, baby.
Yeah.
I put this one in here just because one of my all-time favorite bands is Pink Floyd, and the guitarist released his solo album about face, and that guitarist being David Gilmour.
Nice. NXS, their album The Swing. I know I had a bunch of NXS tapes, you know, at one point, so I was a fan.
Nice. And then finally, the Go-Go's released their album Talk Show.
Nice. And then we move on to the top 10. We'll do this in reverse order from 10 to 1.
Nice.
And coming in at number 10, this particular group, I'll say, was alternating between Van Halen when we were driving around in my mom's, you know, Toyota Celica. Okay. And this was Huey Lewis and the News, and this was I Want a New Drug.
Nice.
One that won't make me sick.
but one that makes me feel like I do when I'm with you. Hey, it's such good songs.
Yeah.
This one not so much. Shannon and Let the Music Play.
I feel like I should sing it, Greg, because
this is
what I do. Let the music play.
Wow.
Celebrate. Something like that, I think.
Close enough, yeah.
Then number 8, The Police with Wrapped Around Your Finger, one of their sort of slower, more ballady kind of songs. But
nonetheless cool.
Yeah.
Great sound. This one, I'll say the band, you'll know it. Then I'll say the song, and you will know it.
Yeah.
Rockwell with Somebody's Watching Me.
That was solid, Greg. I'm starting to bring you out of your
Every
singing
once
shell,
in a while,
you know?
I get it right. You know?
That was great. That was a weird video. I don't know if you've ever seen the video for it.
I don't think so.
It's pretty bizarre.
I mean, if I did, I don't remember.
Yeah. But, you know, with the Somebody's Watching Me sort of vibe to it, it's kind of funny.
What was the video where the singer of the band is the stalker? He's like following a girl.
Yeah.
He's so cringy.
Yeah, we talked about it recently in one of the episodes. I don't remember which one it was.
But that's not it, though.
No, this one's more like he's being, like, I think, sort of stalked or like somebody's, I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe that is it. I don't even know. Then at number 6, just classic Culture Club with Karma Chameleon.
How catchy is that song, though?
It's so catchy.
I mean, it's you know, like an earworm.
Yeah.
This is actually, I don't know why this is in the top 10. It's very strange. John Lennon gets a third reference or fourth reference with the song Nobody Told Me. And if you have never heard that song before, I had never heard it till, you know, I was like in my late 20s, and it's so interesting to hear it. And I'll just go on for a second here. Is he's talking about like growing older, and nobody told me how weird things get. Yeah. And I was like, oh man, he, you know, even when he was towards the end, you know, not that he was old at that time, but like he still was plugged in, man. He's just so good.
Sounds like it should be the theme song to our podcast, because it's what we do here.
It's true.
You know, how weird, you know, growing up is.
It does. It vibes. You should check it out. It's a good song.
Well, in the same vein of that, my wife and I were talking recently about songs that when you hear them, it's like, it just stirs up such an emotion. And Cat Stevens,
Cats in the Cradle.
Cats in the Cradle. It's just like, especially now, you know, my kids are 16, and it's like, you know, time does seem like it's speeding up, and you're like, oh God, it sucks. It's so spot on. But yeah,
I don't think that's Cat Stevens though,
isn't it?
You're gonna make me Google this.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll do a report card this episode.
Yeah, I don't think it is Cat Stevens though, because Cat Stevens is Peace Train, right? And Morning Has Broken. All that. I think that's somebody else.
I don't know. Sing a little more.
No, God no. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
let's cut that out.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Number 4. This song and video were just I mean, it changed a lot of things, I think.
Yeah.
And that was Michael Jackson with the Thriller.
It's so iconic.
Yeah.
The first to do it, like, let's make turn a music video into a movie, and it was so cool.
Yeah. And I just listened to it today, and it still is, it's such a catchy song just in its own right. But then all the theatrics that go along with it, those visuals are still like, you hear it and immediately you're a kid again watching that video, and it was
slightly scared.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's so good. We told you this top 10 was pure 80s gold. Yeah. Coming in at number 3, Cyndi Lauper with Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
And then number 2 with Nina with 99 Luftballons.
Fantastic song.
Yeah.
And of course, here we go. We kind of just mentioned this band a minute ago. So the 2 tapes that you had in your car, here's the other one. The number 1 song in March of 1984 was Van Halen, Jump.
Can't get better than that.
No.
Yeah, it was a solid month for music. I guess these are all releases, right?
These were the top 10 songs, 10, right, and then the other were just the album releases. Yeah.
No, it's really good music.
Yeah. So I was thinking, I'm just going to go on a little rant here. Not a rant, a good thing. So what if I think that we have imparted a lot of our 80s stuff onto our kids, right?
Yes.
Or at least the kids in this generation know a lot more about the 80s than anything else. And it seems to me that we've imprinted upon them through a lot of remakes and sequels, and like Stranger Things took place in the 80s and didn't, all these remakes and reboots and all these things. What if the 80s just keeps repeating every 30 years? Because these kids are going to have kids, and maybe they'll make remakes of our remakes, and the 80s will never die, Tim.
Well, I mean, again, to that point, if you apply that same theory and the way that there's so much nostalgia and so much of a movement of people trying to re-experience all that they remember and how great it was, to cars, and you look at 60s cars, 60s muscle cars still are the most sought after. Like the cars from the 70s, there's some that are kind of, but not nearly as much as the late 60s. 80s cars, very few. 90s cars, they're all gone.
Yeah.
They've gone in the crusher. None of them survived.
Yeah.
And then you get into the early 2000s, and now they're too new to really be, classified as that classic car. But the 60s, they just keep making cars the new Dodge Challenger is invoking the same style as the 60s, late 60s,
muscle
early
cars,
70s muscle car. So I think you might be onto something, that they'll just keep re-spinning up, sequels and things from the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the golden age of movies, I think, that can easily be said. And probably music, if you really look back on it.
Yeah. And to your point, the number of movies that have been rebooted that came out of the 80s. Yeah.
Now, I know they're targeting us, but if we're making those core memories with our kids, maybe that'll just kind of keep happening. Yeah. So when we're 65, they're going to come out with Beetlejuice, and we'll be like, yes. And we'll watch it with our grandkids.
I think you might be onto something, Greg.
Sweet.
Maybe we'll be the film production company behind all
there
that.
You go.
Latch-Key Dads Productions.
Latch-Key Granddads.
That's right. I got to start going to different diners and seeing if the waitresses there will give me half of their lottery ticket and win enough money to get the production studio going.
We just need one win.
Yeah.
Just one win.
Just one.
Anyway, that was my thought.
I like it. It's very good.
There you go.
Yeah. Nice.
Hey, Tim, it's about that time.
It's that time for the D&D
phrase of the week.
That's right.
Or episode, if you want to be a dick about it. Do we have to cut that out?
Nah. It's all good.
So the D&D phrase of the week is Potion of Giant Strength.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm going to need to get that soon because my knees are turning into old man knees. I need some giant strength.
Just to make it through the day. Give me one every day at lunch.
That's right.
Yeah. So all you listeners, if you want to somehow communicate with us what that phrase is, the first person to do so wins a fabulous keychain.
That's right. You can email us at dads@latchkeydads.com or send us a message on social media on Facebook or Instagram.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Can't get enough Latch-Key Dad content? Well, check out latchkeydads.com.
That's right, Greg. On our website, we've got a plethora of photos from each episode, as well as other interesting links to content that we talk about on the show.
Yeah, Tim, I really enjoy all the pictures that you put up there, as they really bring the episode home.
Yeah, I guess I'm not afraid to show those embarrassing photos of my childhood. So, yeah, we encourage you to check out the website, latchkeydads.com, for all that content.
Excellent. And if you have a moment, check out our shop page where we've got really cool keychains for sale. If you don't know what to get your dad for Christmas, the holidays, Father's Day, birthday, check it out. It's a cool gift. Tim, did you know that listeners should like, review, and subscribe to the Latch-Key Dads podcast?
No. But now I know.
No,
Knowing exactly about it.